Sexual assault. The scope of the problem is the number of people that are victimized each year. Every 73 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted, and every 9 minutes, that victim is a child. 1 out of every 6 American women has been the victim of an attempted or completed rape in her lifetime. And about 3% of American men, or 1 in 33 men, have experienced an attempted or completed rape in his lifetime. 55%, or majority, of sexual assaults occur at or near a victim's home. In addition, 15% are performed in an open public place, 12% are at or near a relative's home, 10% occur in an enclosed but public area such as a parking lot or garage, and 8% are performed on school property. Meanwhile, only 5 out of every 1,000 perpetrators end up in prison. After a sexual assault, it's hard to know how you may react. You may be physically hurt, emotionally drained, or unsure of what to do next. You may be considering working with law enforcement, but are unaware of where to start. This video will help you learn more about the steps that you can take following a sexual assault. Sexual assault is a crime, and it's not a victim's fault.
It was the worst night of my life. I was terrified to tell anyone about what happened to me. I didn't want to admit that I had just been sexually assaulted.
I was so scared to report my sexual assault to law enforcement. I was at a party and intoxicated when it happened. I thought to myself that I might be blamed. I knew I didn't ask for it, and it wasn't my fault.
I was ashamed that I couldn't stop the assault.
The person that hurt me made lots of threats. I was afraid to be alone at my house. When I called the police to report the assault, they sent an officer and a victim advocate to my home. They conducted an interview and wrote a report. They also recommended that I go to the Phoenix Family Advocacy Center to receive a forensic medical exam and supportive services.
Sexual assault can be extremely traumatic for the victim, regardless of their age, race, gender, or sexual orientation. They experience a violation of their body and privacy and worry about their safety. As a result, they are often afraid of their perpetrator coming back or that the incident won't be believed. In understanding this, we try to handle each case by being patient and understanding, and by treating all victims with dignity and respect. Sexual assault is a traumatic experience, and we try to alleviate that as best as possible.
In Phoenix, we have the benefit of utilizing the Family Advocacy Center, where the victim can receive a medical forensic exam and meet with a detective and victim advocate. The center provides these services in a safe and secure environment. All states, including Arizona, ensure that all victims of sexual assault have access to a medical forensic exam. This affords victims access to medical care and counseling support while collecting important evidence at no cost to the victim or their insurance.
It was difficult talking about what happened, but my medical forensic nurse helped me feel comfortable and safe. I didn't want to let the person get away with what they did to me, and I knew I needed to report the assault and receive medical attention.
When I met the nurse who collected the evidence, I told her how scared I was. She explained every step in the medical exam process while attending to my needs.
During a medical forensic exam, a sexual assault kit is used to collect samples that may be used in a criminal investigation. A medical forensic exam can be completed by a specially trained nurse for up to 5 days following a sexual assault. The sooner the exam is performed, the greater the chance potential DNA evidence can be collected. Even if the victim is not sure if they want to report the assault to police, they can still receive medical care and treatment and a sexual assault kit at no cost. The kit will be securely stored to allow for a report to police at a later time. Also, for this exam, timing is very important. Activities such as showering, using the restroom, changing clothing, even eating and drinking can remove DNA evidence. However, if any of these activities have occurred, an exam can still be performed. It is recommended for victims to place items such as clothing they were wearing at the time of the assault in paper bags to help preserve evidence.
After the forensic medical exam is complete, we test the collected evidence in a lab to generate a DNA profile. If a suspect is in custody, their profile is compared against the evidence that was gathered from the kit. If the perpetrator is unknown, this profile is entered into a database that is searched across the state and nation to find a match. This is an important step in the criminal justice system, both for the victim of the current assault as well as for past and future victims of the same perpetrator. It is not uncommon for serial sex offenders to be caught through this process. Reporting the assault could not only put the perpetrator behind bars, but also provide closure for many past victims of sexual assault.
As soon as I reported the assault, a victim advocate was assigned. It was a relief because there was times that I didn't want to talk to my family about certain things that happened during my assault. My advocate was with me throughout the entire medical exam. She answered all my questions and was extremely supportive and helpful while I worked with law enforcement.
It's normal for a victim to feel complex and even conflicting emotions immediately after being sexually assaulted. My role as a victim advocate is to help the victim feel safe and help them understand they have options. I can connect them to services like legal relief, support groups, emergency shelters, and counseling. I can also attend court hearings and assist them with asserting victims' rights throughout the prosecution process.
I needed to get an order of protection to feel safe from my perpetrator, and I felt uncomfortable about going to court on my own. At the Phoenix Family Advocacy Center, they let me know I could petition for the order with the judge over a webcam. This process provided privacy, and it made it easier while talking to the judge about the assault.
My advocate was able to inform me about various programs that I didn't know about. She helped me feel in control by providing several options of resources that I could call.
It really helps when advocates are available to be with the victim after we are done with the initial interview and when the victim has completed a forensic medical exam. For advocates to be able to provide victims with immediate support and connect them to resources is key to building trust and rapport with the victim. Their participation during the process helps reduce trauma to the victim while allowing us to conduct our investigation.
Recovering from sexual assault can be different for every victim. They may experience a range of emotions like guilt, shame, or feelings of isolation. They may also have physical symptoms like changes in their appetite or sleep schedule. It can help if a victim talks to someone, such as a counselor, about these reactions.
In addition to the evidence obtained from my medical exam, law enforcement was able to further collect evidence from the location of my assault to support my case. Even though I felt that I should have been relieved, I was terrified to go through the court process. My advocate referred me to a counselor close to my home. She was able to assist me with my anxiety and in gathering my emotions, which helped me to remain calm while I was in the courtroom.
Sexual assault is something that I thought I would never go through. My case is still being investigated, but I know the evidence that I provided to the police will eventually help prosecute my perpetrator. Until that day comes, I plan on staying focused on what's important to me, and that's my health, and in healing myself.
Sexual assault can have a devastating and long-term impact on individuals and their loved ones. It can result in a range of acute and chronic mental and physical health concerns, and often victims are concerned for pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections.
If you or a loved one has experienced a sexual assault, immediately report it to law enforcement by calling 911. It's never too late to report an assault. Or tell someone. Call a trusted friend, a family member, or the National Sexual Assault Hotline that is available 24/7 at 1-800-656-4673. And always seek medical attention. Even if one elects not to report the crime to law enforcement, it's important to receive immediate medical care, including medical referrals if needed.
Also, if someone suspects or has reason to believe that a person is the victim of sexual assault, please report the information to law enforcement. The person making the report doesn't have to prove the assault or abuse. The investigation and reporting process is the responsibility of law enforcement.
Remember, sexual assault is a crime, and it's not a victim's fault. To learn more about sexual assault, visit the Phoenix Police Department's website listed below.